When someone says precious metal, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Gold, right? Yeah, most of us think of gold. But there's another metal out there with a fascinating split personality. It's an ancient treasure, for sure, but it's also one of the most critical materials for our future. We're talking about silver.
So let me ask you this. What do you think is the single most important metal for the coming decades? Your mind might jump to lithium for all those batteries, or maybe copper for wiring up the planet. But what if I told you the answer could actually be the very same metal people have used as money for thousands of years?
And this is the core conflict right here. On one side, you've got silver's ancient identity, the symbol of money, the store of value. On the other, you have its absolutely indispensable role in the tech that's defining our future, from the EV boom to, well, everything else. It's a metal that's literally caught between two worlds.
Okay, so let's start with silver's first identity. Its deep, historical role as a safe haven asset, or, what we could just call old money. This is the classic silver, the one your grandparents probably told you about.
Just look at this number. Wow. Back in the 1970s, the economy was getting hammered by stagflation. That's this nasty combo of high inflation and slow growth. And while prices were spiraling out of control, silver delivered a staggering return of over 1,500%. It didn't just protect your purchasing power, it multiplied it.
And this wasn't just some weird thing from the 70s. Nope. Silver's been a monetary pillar for centuries. Its role as this trusted asset is basically woven into the very fabric of economic history. It's always been that reliable anchor in uncertain times.
And the thing is, all those reasons people historically bought silver, they're making a huge comeback. Investors today are looking at a world filled with geopolitical tension, a ton of policy uncertainty, and real questions about what central banks are going to do next. These are all the classic drivers for safe haven assets like silver. But now, let's do a complete 180 and look at silver's second identity. And honestly, this is arguably the more exciting part. This is silver as the engine of tomorrow, an absolutely indispensable industrial metal.
So, what makes it so special? It's not just that it's shiny. Silver has this unique set of properties that make it totally irreplaceable for the two biggest transformations happening right now: the massive shift to green energy and the whole digital revolution being powered by AI.
Let's break that down for a second. First, it has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal on the planet, period. That means way less energy gets wasted as heat, which is vital for efficiency. Second, it resists corrosion, which is absolutely critical for making our high-performance electronics reliable and long-lasting.
Think about the lithium-ion batteries in your phone, your laptop. Researchers have found that by adding just a thin layer of silver inside, they can reduce cracking, which makes those batteries last longer and charge more safely. It's in the tech you're using every single day.
And its impact goes way beyond just electronics. This is incredible. Engineers in Brazil have developed a $2 sensor that uses silver to detect proteins in saliva linked to mental illness. This could completely revolutionize early diagnosis for millions of people. And if that wasn't surprising enough, get this. Silver can literally make it rain. I'm not kidding. For decades, tiny particles of silver iodide have been used in something called cloud seeding to encourage ice crystals to form, helping to generate rain or snow in areas that are desperate for it. So when you add it all up, the demand from these future-defining sectors is just exploding. Solar panels, electric vehicles, and those massive data centers that power AI, they all rely on silver, and their consumption is just growing at an incredible rate. So what happens when these two powerful identities, the ancient store value and the futuristic supermaterial, smash into each other? Well, you get a massive tug-of-war right in the middle of the market. And the result of that tug-of-war is a huge supply problem. By 2026, the world is expected to use 67 million times more ounces of silver than it produces. This is not a small gap. This is a significant structural deficit. And this isn't some new fluke either. This is shaping up to be the 6th year in a row that demand has outstripped supply. We are consistently using more silver than we can mine, and that puts relentless pressure on the stockpiles we have above ground. This whole thing creates a clear battlefield of opposing forces. On one side, pulling the price up, you've got strong investment demand, that persistent deficit, and all those growing tech needs. But on the other side, pulling it down, you have things like lower demand for jewelry when prices get too high, and the solar industry constantly trying to use less silver to cut costs.
This split has analysts completely divided. The bulls, the optimists, see a strong long-term trend supported by all this demand. But the bears, the pessimists, are pointing to bigger economic problems. They're worried that things like rising oil could force central banks to keep interest rates high, which usually makes assets like silver less attractive in the short term.
So what does the industry's leading authority, the Silver Institute, have to say about all this? Well, they've made it pretty clear. Get used to it. This volatility, this constant push and pull, is the new normal for the silver market.
So where does all of this leave us? What's the ultimate takeaway from this complex and really fascinating story?
It all boils down to this. The silver market is fundamentally a story of tension. It's a battle between its identity as a safe haven from the past and its identity as an absolutely irreplaceable component of our technological future.
So is silver an ancient relic, or is it the key that unlocks our high-tech green energy future? Right now, the market seems to be betting it's both at the same time. The real question is, when that rope pulls tight, which one of its identities will win out?